Hello everyone, it's Chris with Expat Theory. I figured I'd jump in here and do a couple of videos today. I got a little extra time. I got a late delivery tonight at like 11 o'clock. Usually my deliveries are during the daytime, but it's one of the things I want to talk about, the current state of things. And I also wanted to do I'm going to do a second video talking about what's going on with my stock portfolio and all that. Well, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you being here. This is a little bit of a discussion of what's happening right now. I was a little bit unaware of how badly the economy is affecting trucking and my job in particular. From what I'm finding out, I'm not the only driver out here who's experiencing the short runs, low miles, waiting for loads, all the headaches and hassles that I've been experiencing. And it's been affecting my paycheck. One of the things I've been saying, I'm close to where I want to be, but not exactly there. And I'm realizing I'm not the only one. Within my company, it's pretty much widespread. And there are a number of drivers who are having it worse than me. So, I guess, kind of put it in a little bit of a nutshell, the way things are going with the economy, things are down, inflation's up, all that good stuff. The interest rates are up and all that. It's forcing companies, especially those that are our customers or shippers, to cut back, to pay less for shipping. So the rates for our loads are pretty low right now. And if the load doesn't make enough money to be profitable for the company, then the company's not going to take that load. Which means less loads are available for us drivers. And they're paying less. So my company is trying to do the best I can with grabbing the best loads available, and a lot of those end up being shorter runs, and they're not going for the longer mile loads because the longer mile loads are not paying what they should, and that's our economy. Fortunately, we have a very weak administration in charge right now that has no idea on what they're doing on how to right the ship. So that's kind of hurting a lot. So that's part of it. Then I think this company in particular is part of the problem. Sorry about that. Forgot to turn off my CB. So the company itself is having some issues internally, managing, handling the number of drivers versus the number of loads, and still turning profit. And in one of my comments on one of my previous videos, somebody made the comment about I need to go to a mom and pop business. And I think that's actually the exact opposite of what I see as the path moving forward. I don't think going to a mom and pop is the answer because of the economic situation. A lot of solo owner operator type drivers are going out of business. They can't afford to keep going. The fuel rates are high. The pay is low for the loads. They're not being able to make it. They're, going under. The same thing's going to happen to a lot of the smaller trucking companies. They're going to have issues. And the longer this situation goes, the more of them are going to sell out or go under. I already heard in the rumor of news here that U.S. Express is being bought out by Knight Swift. So they're going away. And U.S. Express was one of the companies I was looking at previously when I was looking at companies to move to after leaving CRST. So now they're being absorbed by one of the biggest companies out there. So they're going away. I really see that happening more. I think there's going to be more consolidation happening. It's just a good time for companies to do that. If they're actually looking to solidify their income and they get a customer or two as permanent or like long-term contracts and then find themselves in trouble, they're going to have a bigger company want to come in and get them, pick them up, because they want those contracts. They want those customers. So I see that happening more so. And I see the smaller companies going under more so. And another aspect about the mom and pops that I'm not a big fan of, even in big corporations, big companies, there's a whole lot of bias going on towards the drivers coming out of headquarters and corporate. That's already an issue. I think that gets multiplied by 100 when you go to a smaller company. Small companies, everybody knows each other. They usually socially network to get new people in. They go to friends and family and known people when they're looking to put on new drivers. They don't just go out and advertise to pick up some stranger. The mom and pops network within their own people to find new drivers. So even if you were to find a mom and pop company, you're coming in as the new guy who is an outsider. All the good loads are going to go to the guys that have been there for a long time. All the good work and all the good pay, everything is going to go to those they already know and been working with for a long time. They're either family or friends or something of that nature already. They already have an existing relationship of some kind. So you're going to be on the outs right off the bat. The company politics kind of thing. You're odd man out. So I don't see that as a great answer coming in as a new guy. I don't think that's a great situation, and never been a big fan and trusting of people anyway. There's a whole lot of deception and fraud, basically going on within the trucking industry as it is. There's a whole lot of horror stories out there about a whole lot of small companies, mom and pop type companies that basically burn drivers. They use them and abuse them, get as much money out of them as they can, and then kick them to the curb, and the drivers left not getting paid for the work they did, getting screwed at every turn, but the company made a good chunk of money off of them while they were there. That already happens all the time, as it is. So finding a mom and pop that would be honest and reputable and a good situation, it wouldn't be biased against you, and all of those factors, be very, very rare. As a new driver switching companies, you're almost better off going with mid-size or larger companies, be honest with you. Some people don't like the idea of just being a number or just being a name to the company, but sometimes it's a little better, um, especially if the company itself has a good reputation. They treat everyone the same. Um, you tend to have a better chance of at least getting a fair play out of it and not being taken advantage of. And you just got to put up with the corporate red tape, which is always annoying. A lot of people can't stand that. A lot of people can't stand the fact that they limit us on our speeds horribly. They're talking about trying to pass legislation to make it even worse. That requires every company out there to limit our speeds and stuff, which, by the way, causes more accidents because everybody trying to get around the slow-moving truck creates accidents. We become an obstacle in the path of traffic instead of going with traffic because they decided they want to be safe and, put limiters on our speed. It's ridiculous. They have this ridiculous idea of being a pebble in a stream and just let everything go around you. It's all smooth and tranquil, and it's just absolutely absurd. Because no, you become an obstacle that people need to get around to do their commute, and that creates more chaos and more problems and more accidents. And frequently involves hitting the truck. So sometimes the bigger companies, in my mindset, sometimes the bigger companies are actually a better option than going to a mom and pop. I've also been recommended, that maybe I should look into Walmart. I don't hear a lot of good things about driving for Walmart. I've actually heard a lot of, I won't say bad, but I heard they're pretty strict and they're pretty tight on what they do, and I'm not a fan. I don't know. I heard they pay good, but I heard the job kind of sucks. So, I don't know if I want to sacrifice my happiness for more pay, even if that, if it is indeed more than what everybody else is paying. But right now, I think pay is still kind of fluctuating downward a little bit right now. Truck drivers are still a little bit underpaid. And I know everybody probably thinks, oh no, you guys are getting paid great, blah, 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 blah. You don't understand. We're not getting paid that great. As the decades have rolled by here, the cost of living and inflation and everything has skyrocketed. And if you look back just, 10 years ago, your typical cashier was making, a little bit minimum wage or a little bit above, $7-8 an hour. And now, today, if you go to work for, Aldi or wherever, a grocery store or whatever, they're starting people at $11, $12, $13 an hour to get them to come to work. So everyone else's pay has gone up somewhat, as where trucking pay has only gone up marginally, a very small amount. So the difference between the skyrocketing in pay of minimum wage and those jobs has been this steep hill, as where truckers have been a little bump. We're kind of almost, I hate to say this in a way because it's totally different scenario, totally different job, but as the pay goes, it's kind of like teachers. Teachers, their pay has not gone up much. They have not been compensated to keep up with the rate of cost of living and inflation. And even though a trucker's salary or trucker's pay might be a little bit more, they're not keeping up with that same rate. So we're not getting paid as much as we actually should. And when you have an economic downturn like this, things are going downward. Everyone is. So the truckers that were like me, I'm not going to probably make as much this year as I made last year. And part of it's changing the company. The other part of it is just the economic situation we're in. And it kind of sucks when your pay goes down, because you're looking at, everything's getting more expensive. You need your pay to go up to keep up with things, and instead I'm going down. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about and mention, because like I said, I did have a couple of comments in my videos about some ideas of what I should be looking at moving forward, and whether I stay here at GP or move on. And I just kind of wanted to voice that out a little bit. And keep your fingers crossed that something changes here in the near future to get our economy back on track, because of course I don't see it happening until we get a different administration in there. It's gonna be rough. Looks like we're in for a little bit of a haul, and I'm sure there's probably, I'm just looking at it from my experiences and what I'm dealing with. I am sure there's other people out there with other types of jobs and other industries who are feeling the crunch too. So, hold on, folks. It's going to get rough for a while. And for now, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and try to do the best I can, and keep my eyes and ears open to see, if something better is out there, because right now I'm right at that, right at that ledge of being where I need to be, but it's not quite yet there. And this week's going to be shot. This week I got to get up there, make a delivery in New York, do a pickup, come back to Illinois, then go back to my HQ, because my truck is due for a maintenance. So my weekend's pretty much shot. This week might be okay on miles, but next week's going to be shot, because I'm not going to have the weekend mileage carrying over to the next paycheck. So I'm going to have another short check. It's the business, I guess. It's nothing I can really do about it. Just keep plugging away and driving as many miles as I can every day, and roll with it. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna cut this one off, and keep your eyes on. I'm gonna put out another video here in a minute. I'm gonna get some pictures off of my Weeble, and I want to share some information on my stock market and all that. So if you guys know anybody who likes this kind of content, please share it to them, and hit the like, subscribe button, and all that. And we'll see you guys in the next video.